Incantation is a first-person survival horror experience that focuses heavily on atmosphere, cult-based folklore, and slow-burn psychological tension. Instead of fast action or actual complex systems, the game builds in horror through exploration, silence, and constant unease. It is a short experience, but it tries to deliver impact through its setting and storytelling rather than gameplay depth. So, with that being said, let's break it down. In this game, you follow a mother who is on a desperate journey after finding clues about her daughter, who has been missing for 6 years. From the very beginning, the game establishes a heavy emotional tone. This is not just a simple search, it is a story built around grief, obsession, and the need for closure, even when the truth may not be comforting. After surviving a car crash, you end up in a remote and unsettling village that immediately feels off. This place is known as the Chen family village. It is not isolated from the outside world, surrounded by dense mystery and unexplained history. The village is filled with dark folklore, disturbing rituals, and a cult centered around a strange entity known as the Mother Buddha. This presence feels like it influences everything in the village, from the people to the environment itself. As you progress, you quickly realize the residents are not normal. Many of them seem mentally broken, disconnected from reality, or simply lost to whatever has taken over the area. The environments reinforce this feeling consistently. You explore abandoned homes, narrow pathways, and disturbing locations such as a house filled with mannequins that feel unnaturally placed and watchful. Every step forward makes the sense of dread stronger, as if the village itself is responding to your presence. The overall presentation to Incantation is dark, gritty, and focused heavily on atmosphere. The visual style uses a semi-realistic approach that works well for horror, especially when combined with low lighting and heavy shadow design. The game does a good job of making every area feel uncertain and unstable, which helps keep the player consistently alert. However, character models and facial animation do not always match the quality of the environments. This can actually create a slight visual disconnect where the world feels stronger than the people inside it. The sound design is one of the stronger elements of the game. Small audio details like footsteps, environmental noises, and distant movement all help build consistent tension. Even silence is used effectively, making empty moments feel intentionally uncomfortable. The music is minimum but thriller focused, only activating during key moments to increase stress or signal danger. On the Xbox Series X, the game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second most of the time, which helps keep the exploration and scripted moments feeling stable. The gameplay of Incantation is built around slow exploration, puzzle solving, and stealth and environmental storytelling. There is no traditional combat system. You cannot fight back against enemies. Instead, the game forces you to observe, hide, and avoid threats while moving throughout the village. This design choice definitely increases the feeling of vulnerability, but it also means that the experience is more passive than active. Most of the time, it's actually spent walking through environments, interacting with objects, and tying together a story through notes, visual cues, and scripted events. Puzzles are simple but serve a purpose of slowing down progression and forcing observation. You may need to find items, unlock paths, or activate specific sequences to move forward. There are also moments of quick time events, especially during escape sequences or encounters with supernatural forces. These moments add short bursts of pressure, but do not completely change the core gameplay loop. Overall, the game is very short, usually lasting around 3 to 4 hours, and it is clearly designed as a narrative experience first, gameplay experience second. As I played, one of the most noticeable issues was performance inconsistency. There were moments of stuttering, screen tearing, and small bugs that broke immersion during important atmosphere scenes. In a game that relies heavily on building tension, even small performance issues can have a big impact on the experience. Another issue is the limited interactivity. Because the game focuses so heavily on being a walking simulation style horror experience, there is very little player agency outside of the movement and basic interactions. This can make certain sections feel repetitive, especially when you are simply moving from one area to another without much variation in gameplay. At times, it can feel like you are moving through the experience on autopilot rather than actively engaging with systems or mechanics. The puzzles, while functional, can also feel vague or underexplained, which may lead to moments of backtracking and confusion. On top of that, visual quality varies between platforms. On some systems, especially lower power hardware like the consoles, the graphics can actually struggle to maintain the same level of detail and stability seen on higher end consoles, like the Xbox Series X version. Incantation is a short, atmospheric horror experience that relies heavily on folklore, cult themes, and psychological tension rather than gameplay depth. It does a good job of creating a consistent sense of unease through its environments, sound designs, and story presentation. However, performance issues, limited interactivity, and a very simple gameplay structure prevent it from reaching a higher level of impact. This is a game best suited for players who enjoy slow, narrative-driven horror experience and actually do not mind a lack of traditional gameplay systems. For that, I give Incantation a 3 out of 5. Thank you for tuning into the Gamer Section, the best place for independent gaming journalism. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content.